Hello, I'm IBX Toycat, and today I'm going to be giving you some class setup advice and some general weapon tips for the KF5 SMG in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. So, this is one of the default unlocked SMGs, so if you're trying out an SMG, this is a good first one to try, and it looks a lot like the MP5, it feels a lot like the MP5 and the Scar L from previous games, and I'm sure if you've used it, you will run into the fact that, like the other SMGs, it's a little difficult to use in a team-based game mode. So, my first little pro tip for you, and you'll probably notice in the background, is play free-for-all. This is a pretty nice free-for-all game on BioLab, and you can really see how, if this was a team game mode, I'd be, kind of forced to use the longer range sights. But because it's a free-for-all, I can go around the parts of the map where I have the advantage, where it's actually SMG range. And given that the SMGs in this game start to really suck at long range, so just try and avoid. I know a couple times this gameplay I run across like the long range sights, but ideally you've got to avoid them because that's where if you're in a gunfight you lose. So that surely all that sort of basic stuff shouldn't come as news to you. Let's go over what you should actually put on the class then. So first of all, with the KF5, the foregrip is amazing. So like I mentioned in my last SMG video, the foregrip actually works in this game. In previous games it was just a placebo, but this game it's really, really good. And the KF5, the foregrip will actually take you from being like a close slash medium range gun to some, like you can actually challenge people in long range fights if you have enough accuracy, and there's something amazing about that. So if you don't want to be limited too much in regards to actually where you can make a gunfight, the foregrip is a must-have attachment because it really is incredible for reducing recoil. So yeah, the foregrip is pretty much, it's not a must-have, but it very much helps. It's probably the most powerful attachment on this weapon. Second of all, if you've got the foregrip on there and you still want to improve, laser sight, like with all SMGs, always a useful way to improve your hipfire. If hipfire is good enough already, then I think, honestly, you should start to load out on other perks or wait till the much later attachments. So like extended mag could be pretty useful most of the time, extra 20 bullets in the round, always useful. Dual mags is obviously pretty good too, and maybe the quick draw if you really want to be fast on the draw. But honestly, I think foregrip and laser sight are the two crazy powerful attachments, and the rest are kind of optional. So if you just want a one attachment weapon and you want to focus on score streaks or perks, I recommend that. Speaking of score streaks and perks, so because I'm playing free-for-all, I always have the UAV and then a couple of kill streaks which are pretty easy to call in. So let's say the missile strike or the Vulcan and then the Warbird. But if you wanted to, you could do whatever you want there, take away all the kill streaks but the UAV to save points. It's entirely up to you, which is pretty cool. So to go off score streaks, not something that is more controllable, let's talk about perks. So first of all, with tier 1, there's lightweight and there's low profile. Honestly, most of the other ones aren't really worth considering. So based on how you want to play, if you want to be that a little bit faster, use lightweight. Otherwise, I pretty much always recommend low profile because no UAV stuff, always useful. In free-for-all, you don't need either of those, so if you're playing free-for-all, you could honestly just go without and save even more points and go crazy elsewhere, so have like 2 tier 3 perks, 2 tier 2 perks, and 4 score streaks. Entirely your call, like I said. So speaking of tier 2 perks, I always like to recommend Cold-Blooded because, if people don't see the red dots on you, they might be a little, suspicious. It might give you that extra second or, tiny split second that you need to actually win a gunfight. Other than that, if Cold-Blooded is not your thing because you can't really feel it, Gung Ho is excellent on the SMGs. Being able to run and sprint and just hit fire at people while you're doing it, that's kind of cool. Also, while sliding is also quite useful. It feels like a waste of perk because it's such a small benefit, but it is very nice anyway. So I definitely recommend Gung Ho, Cold-Blooded, depending on how you want to do that, or Peripheral Vision, the one that expands your minimap. I'm scared I've got the perk name wrong, so I'm just going to explain it. But yeah, those are all great perks. So on to tier 3. This is where the powerful perks are. So first of all, Blast Suppressor. It's on SMGs, it feels like a must-have because you can't just have people knowing exactly where you are when you're sprinting across the map. In this gameplay, I use it so much. Like whenever I can, I'm sprinting away because it just allows you to move faster, and it's kind of like a lightweight built-in if you use it all the time. So yeah, I love getting around fast. The Blast Suppressor, I don't understand why you could live without it. So Blast Suppressor is pretty much a must-have. Scavenger's nice if you want to stay alive longer, but if you don't really care about that, then the only other perk worth considering here is, depending on your playstyle, either toughness, so you can win gunfights if you want to do that long range stuff, or if you just want to play fun score streak stuff, Hardline is excellent, but it's a level 49 unlock. I actually had to unlock it with my permanent unlock, so now because I've just recently prestiged. That's why I don't have any attachments on this gun, by the way. I think I do pretty well, even in regard to that. But To go back to class setup device then, so next of all, we've got your perk setup, you've got your attachment setup. What about your exo ability and your grenades? So, as with pretty much all my classes, the Semtex and the Frag are the two ones I like to use, because being able to kill people is nice. Even though, you know, for me, I've been killed by a grenade precisely once, because of how easy it is to avoid them, you can still get kills with grenades, because if someone's, you know, stuck in a corner, you frag a grenade at the floor in front of them. Most people are stubborn enough to think that the corner is safe enough, and they'll die. It's always a good way to get rid of people that are just entrenched in position, so it's a nice point to spend if you have the point going. If you don't, then just go without, because honestly, you can get more use out of an extra perk than you can get out of, you know, a grenade. At least, you know, that's what I think. So, a frag or a Semtex, depending on your playstyle. The frag can be cooked, but the Semtex is easier. And then with the exo ability, stim or ping. I think the only two ones of real value, at least for me right now, is stim, because if you get into a gunfight and you get really hurt, you put on your stim and you're back to full health again, you're ready to destroy people. With, you know, ping, then you can be, okay, if you're just trapped in a corner, you're really scared, you have one off a kill streak, you call in ping, you look for someone, and then you have an advantage on them. It's kind of like a free UAV that you get to call in like twice or 3 times or something like that. And yeah, they're the two ones I recommend. Other than that, it's really down to your own preference. Like, some people really like cloak, even though it's useless. Some people like the riot shield, even though that's not so useful. And honestly, I just like to use stim and ping. So that's pretty much your whole class setup right there. And with that, you can start to dominate with the SMGs. You always have to bear in mind that you have to stay within your range. You can't, you know, try to do long range stuff with this weapon. And as long as you do that, I've started to dominate the SMGs. Like, I was winning free-for-all after free-for-all after free-for-all with this KF5. Even in this game, even though I had no attachments, I was really just starting to dominate people, and it's a really, really fun thing to do. I think, like, all these class setup tips for the SMGs will be quite similar, because it's the same winning strategy for all of them, besides maybe the Akimbo one. And to be perfectly honest, the KF5 is probably my favourite SMG right now. And there's something really weird about the game, because it gives all, like, kind of the best weapons and the most used weapons all the way at the start. But all the you know, the best perks and the ones you want most all the way at the end, so Scavenger and Hardline. I don't entirely know what the logic was there, but I guess let's just go with what they're saying. So as with all weapons in the game, I recommend, if you're playing this and you're trying to do the best you can, always practice your accuracy, and the easiest way to do that, and it's something I do every now and then, is just when you start firing at someone, instead of just firing when you see them and then trying to get the recoil on them, which is, you know, an effective way to play once you're pretty good, try and make sure you hit people with your first shot, and then the next 3 bullets hit them perfectly. So if you want to pop fire the weapon, it's a really, really good way to train yourself to be better with accuracy. And if you just do it like the first couple games that you're online one day, it really, really helps out, and it makes you play more cautiously. It makes you just play better, in my opinion. So that's a really good tip to help yourself out and actually play better at the start of every round. And if you want to just, you know, if you're playing long sessions, like 4 or 5 hours at a time, spending the first 10 minutes on making sure your accuracy is better for the whole session, always a good thing to do. Also, selfie your stick, all that sort of stuff. So, we're actually coming closer to the end of the gameplay here. As you can see, I'm currently system hacked. It's a little bit of an annoying kill streak, but it's not really worth spending the perk on protecting, in my opinion. We're on 29 kills, and we're going to try and get that last one. I always kind of choke in free-for-alls when I'm on the last kill, but luckily in this game, I do manage to shoot the person, and they do manage to die from my bullets. So, yeah, that's the end of this game. I hope you enjoyed it. I really like this SMG, and I recommend it if it's like a starting SMG, like the gateway SMG, if you will, because it's just really, really good at its stuff. As you can see right here, that guy is firing at me, I fired at him, and now he's dead. So yeah, this is a 30 to 10 free-for-all. I hope you enjoyed it. Like it if you did like it, share it to let other people see it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.